Right, there we go. Load shedding is not being kind to us. But we're not going to steal. I just said to the ladies in the Zoom room, I'm not going to allow Eskom to steal my joy. We are here. Luckily, we can do replays. And it's a joy to be back tonight. And thank you for your participation yesterday, for making comments on the activity as well. It's great to also get your views and get an idea of what's going through your mind. So just a reminder that if you are online with us tonight, Facebook, I can't unfortunately see the comments at the moment, but I will go and look at them as soon as we are done here, and then I will respond. But please make sure that if you tune in, that you put a hello in the comments so that I know that you are online. Why? Because there's going to be a lucky draw for those who participated in the conversations to win a free mentoring session to the value of 850 Rand with me. And then right up till Friday, I'm going to post an activity in the Facebook group. And if you respond to that activity, you will also go into a lucky draw. And I love to change my mind. I'm a woman. So I decided that 3 ladies, 3 lucky winners who participate in the activities will win a little emotional well-being e-journal that is part of the 50 Shades of Pink membership that Lozelle and I are running. So participate. You just never know. I have a client, and I will never forget the first time that I met her. She typed in the comment section and she said, I'm not going to participate. I never win. And it was so amazing that particular round, she actually won 2 prizes. So never say never. Okay. All right, ladies. So tonight, I'm specifically going to talk about how can I start to value myself? So last night we spoke about why don't I feel worthy? What is happening in my brain? What is going on there? And the knowing that most of the stuff, the limiting self-beliefs that I have is actually not my fault. Okay. I don't have control over how things are stored in my brain. And we also spoke about what it is to have presence, the thing that we all are going to aspire to at the end of the day. So when it comes to worthiness is really that feeling of I'm accepted, I'm likable, people respect me, people value me, all right? Now, as we said last night, so much may have happened that is buried that for you, or it's covered in dust and it's dimmed your light and it's dimmed your sparkle. And I'm going to go through 5 points that will kickstart your journey to worthiness. But what I want you to, just as a starter, I want you to make from now on a conscious effort to be aware of the situations that you may find yourself in that makes you feel inferior, or any comments that people may make, any specific situations that you find yourself in. How will I know that I'm not feeling worthy, or that I feel self-conscious, or that I'm a bit anxious? Your emotions will tell you. Okay, we spoke about it last night as well. There will be a bit of resistance. There will be a bit of a fear. There will be, overwhelm maybe. There will be a question mark. I'm not 100% sure. Doubt will set in. So, but particularly the incidents that cause you to not feel great. And we're not going to dwell on them, but it's important that we know what is it that trigger our limiting beliefs. And we can then start to work to change that perception. And remember, we said that which is stored in my brain create or determine the way I interpret what's happening with me. I'm sure you all have seen that picture of the number 6, and depending on which side you stand, it will be a 9 or a 6. And that's exactly what happens. Depending on what is in my brain, depending on my past, depending on experiences I've had, that will determine what kind of situations will be a trigger and how will I experience that trigger. So something that may be a trigger to one person may not necessarily be a trigger to another person, but important that you start noticing what are your specific triggers? Because what I want you to do is that slowly but surely, you want to start changing that around. You're gonna make an effort to actually turn that around. And a lot of it is built around realization, like a reminder. So one of the things that, and this is just part of the introduction, it's going to overlap later on a little bit more. But one of the things I want you to remind yourself of is that you are unique. We are all uniquely created. There's not two Erlas, there's not two Belindas, there's not two James, there's not two Leons. We may have other people with the same names. We may even have other people with the same name and surname, but they are not the same individual as what I am, which means that I shouldn't be comparing myself. Yes, I can aspire to somebody that's a role model for me to improve this particular area, but I should not be comparing myself because I'm unique and I have to start treasuring my uniqueness. So the moment that I'm triggered, I can remind myself, Leon, but just remember, you do not have to be a people pleaser. You do not have to try and get the approval of other people because you are unique and they look with different lenses at who you are. Then secondly, ladies, our journeys are also very unique to us. I often find that clients will say to me, I'm very shameful about my past. Or, I made a few wrong decisions in the past. Or there's stuff in my past that I really don't like to talk about. None of us can say we've got nothing in our past that we either regret, that we feel embarrassed about. And for some people, again, it may be a small incident that became a huge thing. For other people, a huge thing may be something small. The size doesn't matter. The bottom line is, if there's something in your past, ladies, it's part of your unique journey. And I firmly believe that those not so good things that happen to us, and I think I said it last night as well, become the foundation of moving forward. Now I know what is not working. There are lessons that I take from that which has happened to me. And how often, and I actually made a note here where I said, very often our journeys become our testimonies. The challenges that we had to face, the bad things that happened to us, the shameful things that happened to us, if we have overcome that, like a radiant woman would do, we can actually, our stories can be an inspiration to others, which means that you either now have knowledge and experience to assist others. You may either just be able to give more empathy to somebody that's in a similar position. It doesn't mean it has to become a charity organization or you now have to become a keynote speaker. But what you've been through is part of life skills and experiences that nobody can take away from you, as long as you use that as a foundation to build on and build something stronger on that. Then we all have talents and gifts and specific characteristics. And ladies, people will say, oh, no, I have no talents, because what do we think about? We think about that master artist that paints the most beautiful and gorgeous paintings, and or that master chef that can cook the most gorgeous food, or that pastry chef that, no, ladies, a talent and a gift might just be the fact that you have the ability to notice people on the pavement and pass a smile to them, which you and I will never understand what it may mean to the other person. You may have the ability to be quite factually orientated, which means that you often find solutions that other people don't see. Maybe you have the ability to lend somebody an ear. So don't think a talent or a gift is something massive, something that must give you celebrity status. We need people behind the scenes as well, but you need to remind yourself that you have things that you are good at. You do have things, even if that is making up a bed, and you can make up a bed like army style, then I will have to hire you. I'm a very lazy bed maker. So it is really also just a question of starting to appreciate who you are. Start to appreciate this individual, who you are, and not trying so hard to be somebody that you think others want you to be. Okay, so because at the end of the day, I just want to also remind you that when I can start valuing myself, I can start bringing value to this life as well. When I can value myself and I'm not, when we don't value ourselves, when we are in that place of low self-worth, the focus is pretty much on us, because I'm constantly worried about, am I measuring up? Am I saying the right thing? Do I look okay? What's next? Where if I can accept myself, be at peace with myself, be comfortable with myself, I can start to focus on other people. Okay, a little bit of something to think about. So this is not about being selfish. It's really just about bringing your best to the table. Okay. So I will see if I can find something on Facebook, but I just want to say to the Facebook ladies, please, 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 just leave a hello in the comments so that I know that you were online with us, and that you can also come into, that we can put your name into the lucky draw as well, so that we know that you have been around. Okay. Right. The ladies in my Zoom room, if you have anything that you want to say or any questions, then you are welcome to put them in the chat box, and we will have a conversation afterwards as well. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. That was a long introduction, but I wanted to leave a couple of thoughts with you. And now I'm going to share 5 things with you that you can do to start making permanent changes to your worthiness. Okay, you may have tried many different things in the past, they didn't work. And ladies, this is really not boasting, but I have to tell you that in the past 3 years, in the program that I've had, I have seen amazing changes where women were really committed to make a change to their lives. And look, it's not magic that happens like this. It is a process, but it can also be an exciting process, especially when you start creating new evidence. So the main thing that I want to start off with tonight, and I see Lizelle is on the Facebook page. The one piece of magic that can change your limiting belief, or any limiting belief, is BWRT. And BWRT stands for Brain Working Recursive Therapy. You are most welcome to go and Google that as well. It is a South African neuroscientist who came up with the concept. And ladies, it is amazing. So just to tell you how I got to this. So in my previous Blossom and Prosperity program, the first round of women, we worked with a particular way of changing their perceptions about themselves and their beliefs about themselves. But it didn't bring the results that I was hoping for. So I was now trying out my own process, and 18 months down the line, I realized, but my thinking patterns are still the same. They have not changed. And I thought, I can't ask money from people and then there's no permanent result, because that was my thing. There must be a permanent solution here. This brain of ours is a powerful organ. It is an amazing organ. And there must be a way to get away from these limiting beliefs, that little voice on my shoulder that's telling me you're not good enough and you don't have enough confidence, and all the stories that little voice is telling us. So it really became a prayer. I said, Lord, I need magic. I need magic here. I need magic to help these women. What does it help? They pay me, they sit here for 4 months, and then they go away and they've got skills. But the problem is, you may have the skills, but if you don't have the belief, it's very hard to apply that skill. And lo and behold, then my paths crossed with Lozelle Fish. And quite an interesting story that she realized the two of us have actually for the first time met each other in 2009 at a big function. I was apparently presenting something as an image consultant and I insulted her. Not really, but I told her apparently that she was wearing the wrong colors. And of course, I can't remember. But our paths cross again. And in the meantime, Lizelle is now a qualified BWRT therapist. And of course, before I sent people for this magic, I needed to try out the magic myself. And it is literally magic. And I wish I could get more people to trust this process and believe in it. But with brain working recursive therapy, you can literally change neural pathways. Now, remember, I told you yesterday about a pathway, a neural pathway that's like a highway. Now, if that highway represents a limiting belief that's not serving me, it means I need to change direction. It means I need to find another way because that highway is not bringing me joy. And that's what BWRT does. It is a process where you can alter your beliefs. You can, and in the process, remember we spoke about auto responses, your longing to please people and your fear to quote people. Those auto responses change in the process. It is a non-invasive modality. You can even work through trauma, but you do not have to unpack everything. You do not have to share your innerest, darkest, most secret places of your heart with Rizal. It's a speech protocol. And I do include a mini rapid breakthrough session in the Radiant Womanhood program, but you may not be completely sorted out within one session because, neural paths can be complex. But ladies, the most incredible thing that I want to share with you is I've had clients in my program that's been seeing, and look, there's a place for psychologists, please don't get me wrong, but they've been seeing psychologists for years, 15 sessions a year, and they haven't made any progress. Then 3 to 4 sessions with Rizal, and it's a complete different person. In fact, I just have to share, what do they say? When you're excited about something, you want to talk about it. I have a client and she was really hit extremely hard by COVID, lost her business. It's not going well financially. And her problem is that she's completely overly sensitive because of her past and where she comes from in previous jobs and whatever. So the smallest inkling of people showing animosity towards her or people disagreeing with her or things that go wrong, she is in a dark space for a week. For a whole week, she is sulking. For a whole week, she's questioning herself. No matter what you tell her, even if you spell out the logic to explain to her that it's not her fault, she just couldn't deal with it. She's currently, she worked with me and she's also in our membership program. And I can't remember how many sessions. I don't know, maybe Lizelle will remember if it was 3 sessions. But it's incredible what has happened. Now with BWRT, it's not a big bang. There's just one day you realize, hang on, my behavior just changed. Now this woman, 2 weeks ago, resigned her job. She's a real estate agent. And you know why? She decided she's not drawing a line in the sand anymore. She's drawing a line in stone. She will not be available to be taken advantage of. She will not tolerate people being nasty to her. She will not tolerate people criticizing her. She was in quite a toxic environment in the past. And she just, with no other job, she just said, that's it. Nobody is going to treat me like this. I don't deserve this. Well, I nearly fell off my chair. Of course, I knew, or I know that is what BWRT could do. But that was such a proof of the fact that she just said, I've got the courage now to say, that's it. Enough is enough. You will not treat me like that. She resigned her job, immediately found something else. And guess what? Sold property within the first week of being there. Because there is now a belief in herself. Ladies, so I just have to say, if there are big issues, then BWRT is one thing, and that's why I've brought it into the program as well, that can really change your direction. I just want to read here Somebody wrote here, one can only go to a certain extent with a therapist. When you realize you need more, there's still something you lack in order to make a progress. Absolutely true. That when you're not making progress, then we need to know that there's definitely something else. Okay, ladies, point number 2, I don't want to keep you here the whole night. This is now rediscovering yourself. You know, life buried us. We had to slap on masks. We had to try and be somebody that we not really are, but you know, that's what society expects of us. We've probably been just feeling that, you know, there's so much that we don't even know who we are. So rediscovering yourself can be such an amazing journey. And for this, I recommend writing, to have a little book in which you can write. And what are you going to write in there? The things that I mentioned as part of the introduction. I want you to write in there, what are your characteristics? And you know, when you get to the not so good ones, you will hear, I'm not using the word bad. They're not bad, they're just not great. But we have opposites in our life, and we're going to have opposite emotions. So write down, you know, I'm quite patient, but this is, you know, I do have a bit of a temper. I'm quite a compassionate person. Write your characteristics down. Write down, what are your talents? What are the things that you are great at? Write down, what are the things that you love? I want you to have a visible proof of the person that you are, that you can look at that and say, oh my word, look at me. There's stuff here that I've forgotten. And maybe, and this has also happened to ladies, they say, but I only wrote down 2 characteristics. And I say, keep on thinking. You don't have to complete that list in one go. Tomorrow night when you go to bed, you can think about your day that's passed, and you think, oh my word, I actually found a solution today. Oh my word, I actually realized how fast I can work today. Oh my, and now you start building your list. So it's almost like rediscovering this individual that you are, and it's creating new evidence. Remember, we said the brain loves to protect us. The brain wants to keep us safe. So what does the brain do? The brain only focuses on the unsafe things, the not rewarding things, to keep us away from it. And we are totally oblivious about the things that we are actually good at. So rediscovering yourself is a way of opening up the brain's radar to see, hang on, there are actually things here that I am good at. Point number 3 is self-acceptance. And on night 1, we also, well, last night was night 1, we spoke about self-acceptance. But the self-acceptance for me is when you start rediscovering yourself, that you embrace every piece of yourself. You embrace your temper. You embrace your kindness. That is sometimes your burden. You get to a point where you say, I just want to be me. I just want to be me. And the amazing thing is when people get to a point where they can just be themselves, they suddenly realize that they are attracting a different kind of person. So the more I'm trying to compromise, the more I'm trying to conform to what I think my friendship circle expects of me, the more you may find when you start acknowledging who you are, that maybe you are not yourself in those circles. But when you can accept yourself for who you are, you will be amazed at the kind of people that you will start attracting to yourself. And specifically also with self-acceptance is our body image. You know, that picture that I see in the mirror, that picture that's not the ideal weight, that picture that's carried children, so now there's a flabby tummy. And again, it is when I can understand that my body is functional. I may have a little bit of a disability here or there, but my body is functional. Let me rather focus on that which I have, opposed to that I don't have. And when I can accept that, then I'm going to dress for myself. I'm not going to dress what other people want me to wear. Yes, it should be appropriate for the situation, but it should be according to your taste. In fact, I've got a client to whom I did a proposal, and she said to me that these are clothing styles that her friends wanted to wear. And I just looked at that and I said, are you going to be comfortable in these? And she said, no. And that's the thing. You need to choose a dress style that you are going to be comfortable in. Okay, ladies, number 4, we're almost done. Number 4 is all about learning about people. People are the things, the human beings that cause us the most pain and agony, sadly. If you think about rejection, it's done by people. If you think about making you feel inferior, it's done by people. So when I can expand my knowledge about people, I will not only be able to manage my emotions better, but I will be able to have a better understanding of people. So now we know that we all have brain wiring. Brain wiring, which is based on stuff from the past, how I grew up, what I was fed with, what I was told, which means that not two people's brains are going to look the same because not two people had exactly the same experiences. So when somebody now differs from you, when somebody is nasty to you, when somebody treats you in a way that you feel is totally unreasonable, at least you can start thinking for yourself, well, that's my perception, but that person's perception is possibly completely different. And soon you will become more comfortable with differences, not seeing a difference as somebody is right and somebody is wrong. It's literally a question of, let me listen to this individual. Let me listen to the kind of conversations. Let me listen to the opinions. And let me learn more about this individual's outlook on life, because that will help me to understand why that person is triggered by something that I'm doing, why that person has got unreasonable expectations. They may never have been in your situation. They may not have the knowledge that you have. So straight away, we can start working on our personal sensitivity. And also important that you know what your triggers are, that you know what behavior triggers you. Okay, I know exactly what triggers me. There's very few things that trigger me, but there's one kind of approach that really triggers me. But now that I know it, I can manage it. I can just stand back and say, oh my word, I feel so sorry for that individual because that has now just gotten me, brushed me up the wrong way. So sadly for you, you're not going to become my best buddy. But when I know what my triggers are, when I understand that people are different, I will be comfortable with the fact that not everybody's going to be my cup of tea. And I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But when I can recognize the triggers, I will learn how to better manage those people. It may even be in your circle of friends, may even be a family member. So when you've got somebody with behavior that triggers you easily, you're not going to go on a weekend excursion with such a person, unless there are hundreds of others that, can take the focus away. But then you manage your time with such a person better. You will meet each other in a coffee shop and you'll say, look, I've got 1.5 hours, so let's make the best of it. But then you're not consumed by that person's behavior that can actually trigger you. So inside the program, we also have an amazing module about behavior styles where we specifically look at, what can I do to try and figure out how people operate so that I can see where are they opposites to me, where are they similar to me, and where one can actually then build much healthier relationships. Okay. We are on point number 5, and point number 5 says, make a decision. Now, why on earth would I have put this in? Ladies, it is so amazing. When I need bread, it's a staple food item. I don't think about it. I go to the shops and I buy it, okay? When I have a serious comfort eating desire for chocolates, I will even walk to the cafe if I need to be. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to do it and buy it. But when it comes to investing in ourselves, and I'm not necessarily talking money, I'm talking time and everything, we overthink it. And can I tell you why? Because your current brain state says to you, listen, there's a bit of an issue here. You can't do this and you never could do that. And you've always been like this. So now you think, oh, yeah, maybe I should change. And the brain is going to say, well, we're not so sure if that's a great decision. That last time that you didn't, ladies, you need to draw that line. You need to make that decision. If you want to get better at anything in life, but specifically in your confidence and your self-worth and the way that people treat you, you actually have to just not overthink it, but make that decision. Make a committed decision. However, it won't help that you make the decision and your desire for that is not strong enough. And that's okay. You may not be ready to make that decision now, but maybe in a few months' time or in a few years' time, you're going to get to that rock bottom. Enough is enough space where you can make that decision. But sometimes we actually just have to say, I also need a place in this life. I also need to be happy. And it's not selfish, because I've said again and again, when you are okay, everybody around you is going to be okay. You will have the skills to know how to handle situations. You will allow yourself to have your emotions when you have your emotions. You will know so much that you can actually move to a place of constant inner contentment. Of course, you can still be angry. Of course, you can still be frustrated, but it's going to be short lasting. It's not going to be long lasting. But my thing is, I've had so many ladies that I'm and on. This is not about my program. It's about themselves. Should I or shouldn't I? No, I don't think. No. And eventually, when they come back to me, it's like, I should have just done it without overthinking it. And I love to use this analogy of a tug of war. Life is like a tug of war. So it's going well, and my team is pulling, and we're winning some space here. And then suddenly life's throwing me with lemons, and I'm pulled back. And what happens is that I'm pulled back, but if I'm pulled too fast, I will fall with my face flat into the mud, because I'm too oblivious about situations. Or there I allow again that's the same thing happen. And if you really think about a tug of war, how do you get out of a tug of war? You just drop the rope. You just drop the rope, which means you make the decision to step away from your current circumstances. And once you've dropped the rope, then you can find a way to sort yourself out. And there's that very popular saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. But ladies, instead of, in Afrikaans praat hulle van karring aan, jy karring aan, instead of just going and going and going and pretend that everything is okay. And some people will say, I've coped thus far, why will I not cope into the future? Well, I'm not going to answer that for you. You need to answer that. But is that really what you want for the rest of your life? And if you know and understand that we are made to have a bit of a purpose, that we are made to actually not only consume oxygen on earth, but to impact other people and inspire other people, there may actually be a bigger desire to just do something for ourselves. Okay. So, ladies, investing in yourself is not selfish. I think that's what I want to say. Investing in yourself is not selfish. Investing in yourself means that it is a point where you start to value yourself and seeing that, there is more. And I think the beauty for me with investment in ourselves, if we do the right investment in ourselves, it is long lasting. It's one investment that can last forever, opposed to the short-term feel-good things, the comfort eating, or the new outfit, or let's go and watch a movie, and by tomorrow I feel depressed again. It can actually be long-lasting. So those are the 5 things that can help you to kickstart your journey of self-worth. Please allow me just to give you a little bit of a rundown of the Radiant Women program, because I've had ladies who ask me about it, and I'm not going to bore you too long. But the Radiant Women program is specifically aimed at the fact that we need an all-round solution. So we start with learning how to manage your emotions. We start with checking in and seeing where are you right now. We do the limiting beliefs thing. I think that's the thing that really excites me the most, is that there is a way that we can make a permanent change for you. We talk about your outer appearance, how you can find your confidence in your outer appearance. How would you go about presenting yourself? You know, what you do in social settings so that you're not so uncomfortable with yourself. We talk about how values and boundaries can be a protective measure for you. We talk about the art of giving and receiving, you know, graciously accept a compliment. And what have I left out? But at the end of the day, what I've created now that's a little bit different to the previous program, because everybody said to me they do have money challenges, which I completely understand. The economy is hard, life is hard, we're all busy to try and survive. But ladies, in all honesty, I also have to tell you that in my life, I have seen that when the commitment doesn't hurt a little bit, and I'm talking the financial commitment, we seem to not be emotionally committed. So I've worked out a payment plan. There are 3 options, and I've worked it out to be as much value as possible for your money. Other programs like this cost tens thousands of rands. I'm going to not charge you more than 5,500 rand, but you can even pay that off over 12 months. And here's the secret. Previously, the program was only 4 months long. I am now going to allow people to stay in the support community for as long as they want to stay, because I have noticed that once the modules are finished, the modules of the program are finished, that's where people's growth actually starts, because now it's implementation time. And that's where they really need some guidance while the brain is still getting used to everything, while they are facing challenges. And I would not like for people to walk away and not have all the answers. So the easy payment plan will run over 12 months, and you will stay in the group beyond 12 months if that is what is necessary. But I will post more information about that as well. But what I just want to say to you for now is, no matter what route you are following, please stand up for yourself. Start valuing yourself, because if you are radiantly worthy, you can inspire so much more, or so many more people in this life. I thank you. I know tomorrow night is Valentine's night, but there will be a recording again. And tomorrow night, I'm going to give you some practical tips and tools on how you can actually protect your worthiness. So I'm greeting you and I'm saying good night to those who are on Facebook.